all of the things that we're used to, all the lending conditions that we were assuming, that we're currently accustomed to, won't be there. Hey guys, I'm Pascal, and we're going to be talking about the 4 common mistakes a new investor makes prior to a recession. And these are misconceptions that people think, and they're going off of these assumptions, and I want to break down each assumption and why that sounds good, but is not accurate to a recession. Prior to a recession, these are 4 common mistakes investors think that's going to happen or be available regarding funding. So number one mistake that they make prior to a recession is not enough cash. When we have a recession, and we're going to have a recession, we're actually in a recession right now, right? We're technically in a recession right now, and it's going to get very bad, almost depression bad. What we need and what there's a lack of is there's a lack of liquidity in the market. So you need to have cash. If you have cash, you're going to be able to get a lot more deals. If you have a good amount of cash, it'll be a lot easier to get lending. So you need to have cash. You need to be prepared. So invest into liquid things, liquid items that are not going to go down when the market goes down. So if you're in stocks, there's a big chance that the stock market is going to go down hard, and all of your liquidity that was in the stock market is going to disappear. So be very careful, because people are like, oh, I'm going to hold my money in stocks, and then when I see a lot of good real estate deals, I'm going to pull the money out and buy those deals. What happens is what happened to me in 2008. The market crashed, and I lost 50%? I think roughly 50% of the value of my stocks. So have cash, because when the deals come, you're going to need to have a good amount of cash to put down, or if sometimes all cash to get these deals. 2, second common mistake an investor makes: line of credit. Second common mistake investors make prior to a recession: they rely on their line of credit, and they think that their line of credit is going to help them buy properties when the market goes down. What happened to me in 2008 or what actually almost happened to me, but I got a call. So I got a call in 2008 from a friend that works inside of the bank. And they called me, they're like, Pascal, I just left the meeting with the rest of the VPs at Bank of America. They're planning to shut all lines of credit. So what they did is they actually took everyone's home equity line of credit and business line of credit, and say you had $140,000, like in my dad's example, he had $140,000 on his business line of credit. What do? They chopped it down to $25,000. So a lot of business owners and investors think, okay, I have these lines of credit on my home or my properties. I'm going to use that money to buy more properties when the market goes down. Unfortunately, the banks, when they're in a credit crunch, they'll start getting rid of the lines of credit so they don't have that much exposure out in the market. So if you're relying on your lines of credit, unfortunately, it's probably not going to be there. So don't rely on your business lines of credit, and do not rely on your home equity lines of credit, because they can be reduced. If you're planning to use it, pull the money out. Okay? So, very common mistake, and it happens to a lot of new investors. Third is that lenders will still be there. When, after 2008 happened, roughly 80% of the lenders disappeared. 80% of the brokers disappeared. So the number of lenders in the market, period, just the number even available, will not be there. So if you think, okay, I'm going to have some cash and I'm going to be able to go and find a loan. Finding a loan is a lot harder, and the terms aren't as good in a recession. So do not assume you're going to be able to easily get lending. Prepare to have people partner with you. Make the connections now on who you're going to partner with, so when the time comes, you already have those relationships established so you can go and buy these deals. Okay? Sometimes you might be the person with the money, but you can't find deals, and your friend's able to find the deals. You might be the person with the credit, but you don't have the money and you don't have the deal. Now, you could be with the person with the deal, but you don't have the money or the credit. So this is a team sport. A lot of people don't think real estate is a team sport, but it is a team sport. And if you team up with the right players, you can be very successful. You're going to be a lot stronger together than separate. Fourth, thinking lending conditions will be the same. So what does that mean, right? You're thinking lending conditions will be the same. I'm gonna sit over to the side so you can see it. So what does that mean? Thinking lending conditions will be the same. When the market goes down, I'll give you an example right now. Currently, I was able to get 10% down hard money loan, and I would only need to put up 10% of the construction project portion, the reconstruction portion. So I bought a building for roughly $300,000, and the remodel budget is about $100,000. So the total is $400,000. Normally, I would only need to come up with $40,000 to do this project. That's it. It's all the money I would need, okay? Now, because all of the lenders know something's gonna happen in the market, something bad is gonna happen, the market's gonna go down. Now they're requiring 20% down on hard money loans. 20% of the purchase and 20% of the remodel budget. Now again, not that big of a deal. I put up $80,000. I still think that's a very good deal. But when the market drops, all of the things that we're used to, all the lending conditions that we were assuming, that we're currently accustomed to, won't be there. So they're probably going to require 20% down, and they won't give any of the, remodel budget. So prepare mentally, financially, and prepare your strategy so you can continue to work in those conditions. So all of the currently, like you can, or previous to Corona, you could have a stated income loan through some lenders, and they're fine with that, right? They were off. I saw some lenders offer loans to non-U.S. citizens. They were offering loans to people that didn't have a social security number. They didn't care. They were fine with it because the market conditions justified that type of risk. But when the market goes down, lending gets harder. Stated income loans, bank account loans, basically what those are, bank account loans are, they look at your bank account and they see how much money goes through your checking account, and they'll see, okay, well, based on how much money comes in and goes out, we'll give you a loan just off of that, not off a tax return or your credit or anything like that. So basically a lot of questionable, riskier loans are out there when the time is good. But when the time is bad, when there's a recession, when things are questionable and scary, they become more strict and the lending options are less. It's a common mistake that they think lending conditions will be the same. So do not make those assumptions. Be prepared for the worst, and it's good to be over prepared so you can actually win when the market goes down and all these deals come out. So again, I think the deals are going to start coming out. Like a lot of good deals should be starting to come out around May 2021. All right. So Daniel on YouTube says, when do you think the market is going to crash so I can pull my money out? So I think that I think that people are going to really accept how bad it is after May of 2021. That's when I really think people are going to accept it. And once the market accepts it and people accept it, and it becomes Main Street to accept that things are going to be bad, then we're going to see a lot of the foreclosures and the prices are going to go down a lot. Now, when is the market going to crash? That is really like only God that really knows that. But I do feel that things are going to get worse post-election. No matter who gets elected, it's going to get worse after the election. That is pretty standard, that post-election is when things go bad. Normally, they do not allow things to get bad prior to an election because they don't want that to make affect people's votes, you know? Two, if Trump does not get reelected, it will be very bad. Not because of any political decisions, but statistically speaking, when a president doesn't get reelected, things are really bad. After that period where he does not get elected for the second term. Okay, I'm just saying statistically speaking. Okay, but in addition to that, if Biden does get elected and he decides to immediately repeal all of Trump's tax provisions where they gave a lot of investors a lot of discounts to small business owners, then things will get worse even faster because we're already like bleeding money. If we're bleeding money and then they go and they say, you know what, all those discounts that we gave small businesses, we're taking them back. Well, now they're just going to be bleeding faster. So it's not really going to help anything or anybody in that case. It's just going to make them just die faster. So I think it'll be even worse if he repeals, if anybody repeals all those tax credits and the new laws that Trump put in place to reduce taxes. Sal says, that's how Warren Buffett positioned Berkshire Hathaway a few weeks ago in April 2020. Yes, when the market crashed, Warren Buffett didn't buy anything. He actually sold stocks. He recently just started buying stuff. So what about refis? Refis are going to be difficult, not because the lending is going to stop. The government loans are not going to stop. The government is going to continue giving loans. The thing is, the question is regarding what about refis with lending, is that when you're going with a Fannie Mae or Freddie Mac loan, there's a portion of it that's called appraisals. So if now the appraiser is going to say, well, the housing price dropped, so you cannot base off of the current or the last sales, the housing price dropped. So it probably dropped 10 or 20%. So if you're saying the house was selling for 300 and now they know prices are dropping fast, they're going to say, well, we're going to lend you at 270. The appraiser is going to reduce it. And then on top of that, they're going to look at your tax returns. They're going to see, well, how is your income? Did you lose your job? So a lot of people that lost their job and didn't get a job that paid the same actually have now a job that pays less. They're going to not be able to qualify for as large of a loan. So now appraisals will go down. The amount of income people are making will go down. The amount of available people able to buy properties are going to go down. So it's going to cause a domino effect of prices going down. Not saying the prices aren't worth it. What am I going to do at that time? I'm going to start buying, because the prices for these properties are worth it. The thing is, very few people will be able to get loans. Very few people will be able to afford to buy them, which because there's less demand, it causes the price to go down. And this is what I call a sale. When we're in a recession, we're in a depression, the assets are still worth what they're worth, but they're on sale. So back in 08, 09, 10, people are like, I don't want to buy real estate, where 3 years ago they were killing to buy real estate. Now they don't want to buy real estate. And I said, you're telling me you don't want to buy this piece of real estate. And at that time, they were selling properties for the cost of the material. I mean, you could buy a house for $40,000. The materials to build the house, the wire, the metal, the concrete, the wood, the shingles, that material costs $40,000. That doesn't even include having to pay someone to put it together. So you're saying you're not going to buy a completed asset at cost? That's crazy. Obviously, it's a steal. It's a great deal. So and then obviously by the time about 2011 and then by 2014, all these big hedge funds started buying real estate, and all the requirement was, are we buying these properties at cost, at construction cost? So as long as we're buying them at that price, we know we're going to make a profit. I was buying them even cheaper than they were. I was buying it at material cost, not even construction cost. Material cost is cheaper than construction cost because it doesn't include labor. So I was basically getting free labor to put them together, right? In that logic. So let's see here. Next question. So I don't understand what you're writing. So tomorrow morning at 10 a.m., I'm gonna have this video up on YouTube. And on YouTube, the video is not backwards. You'll be able to read it the right way, not mirror image. Is that English on the board? It is, but the writing is backwards. Your handwriting is too good. Again, not a writing major, not an artist. I'm a math guy, but understand the concepts. Try to understand the concept. So hard money charging like 12% down now. So hard money in Florida was 10% down, and then they also would only require 10% of the construction cost. So again, $300,000 purchase, $100,000 remodel budget, $400,000 total. They were only requiring $40,000. In Florida, it changed now to 20%. So now it's $80,000 for Florida deals. And again, the rates aren't bad though. I mean, my rate was for a hard money loan for this remodel I'm doing was 8.5%. So that was a good deal.